Hi folks, now we've looked at a number of Taylor's Eyewitness knives lately of different shapes and sizes, from the Barlows to the pen knives, and we've looked at a couple of gentleman's clips. Well, this is another gentleman's clip. This one is a slightly older one. It is a Lee White, but this one was one that was languishing on Bakewell Cookshop's website for quite a long time. I suspect because one of the pictures made the spine look like it had some really quite big gapping. I don't know if you can see here, but there is sort of, I think it's a shadow, because one side of the spring actually is very slightly proud of the liner, and the way it was photographed, it made it look like it had a bit of a horrendous gap. But I thought I would take it and have a look and see what it was like, and actually when I got it in hand, I was actually really so taken with the patterning in the wood that I would probably overlook quite substantial gapping in this. But to be honest, there's really not a lot to overlook. But that wood is just lovely. This is an amboyna burl wood, and as is the way with these things, they're really quite well matched scales, covers. I think this is a case of a piece of wood being cut into two and stuck, one part being stuck on one side of the knife and one part being stuck on the other side of the knife, as opposed to wood being chopped into lots and lots and lots of little panels and then somebody trying to sort of roughly match two up. This is actually a matching piece of wood. So it's very nice in that respect. Now, we've looked at these before, because I have a couple of others. I have an ironwood one, and I have a lovely, beautiful mother of pearl one. This one is slightly different in that those two had filework spines. This one has a plain spine, and the other big difference obviously is just in the piece of wood. And this really is, now the pictures on Bakewell Cookshop's website just didn't do it justice, and I'm not sure that this does either. It is one of the most beautiful lustrous bits of wood I've seen in a long time. The different colours, the yellows and the browns and the blacks, all have a different degree of luster, and it gives that wood really quite a lot of depth and beauty. So we've got a very beautiful knife, but we've also got a very practical and usable knife. This size, shape, pattern, blade shape is very usable, pocketable. Hold on, just need to wipe that. I've run through this before in terms of sort of the size and so forth, but just to do it again, we have shy of 3 inch, 2 7/8 inch blade, cutting edge of 2 3/4 or something like that. Overall 6.5 inch size. So these are very usable fruit knife. I particularly like to use mine for cutting up my apple in the morning, so this works really well for that. Compared to the Barlow, it's a bit slimmer, very slightly longer. The handle width is not too dissimilar. It's still very slightly slimmer, particularly at the bolster end, but it's very similar overall. But this in the flat here, obviously the Barlow is a broader knife with a slightly shorter blade and a slightly shorter handle. But I find this a very useful knife to use, but it's also slim, lightweight, easy carry, non-threatening, and all the other things which make a good EDC knife in the UK. Not to mention the fact that it's so damn stylish that if anybody sees this knife, before they're worried about the fact you've got a knife, they're overcome by the fact that it is just a thing of such beauty. And that takes away from any fear that might come from it being a knife. So I'll not make this long, because we've seen some of these already. The only real thing to show you on this one is just how beautiful that bit of bit of wood is. I'll just show you it again because you can't get enough of that, honestly. And I say it's both sides. And did I mention it's brass liner, steel spring, nickel silver bolsters? Anyway, I am very taken with this. Like it a lot. It's a Lee White, but I think a relatively early Lee White, because I think it's been hanging around on their website for certainly a year, maybe a bit longer. Most of them don't tend to hang around very long, but this one has just sort of languished for a little bit of time. Anyway, so if you like this stuff, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of this, then please feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye.